Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Glen Mccrory, it is an absolute pleasure. How are you?
I'm very good. I was very bad last week. I was suffering. I was ill for 5 days last week, but I'm much better. I'm much better, and just glad to be back working. It's been such a long time off. We come back. We had a couple of shows on Fight Zone. Then I was ill, so I'm just so happy to be back. You know, I'm really, the buzz around this place is great. You know, and IFL haven't been here yet, so I think you're going to be very happy about what you see, because you know, I just think it's a great thing. The monopoly is broken, and that monopoly, you know, if you're a fighter, has been terrible for boxing for many years. You know, because it's always been run by, you know, one or two promoters. You know, in history, you know, never has anything like this happened where a promoter like Dennis Hobson, Steve Crump are working with lots of promoters, lots of fighters all around the country. This has never been done. So, you know, it's just great that the power block is finally broken. Because if you're a fighter like me and you weren't with the big promoters, you've now got a chance. You're now going to get seen on TV. You know, there's kids here. Everybody tonight is going to be televised. All the winners are going to get an interview after it. Now, if you're a fighter making your debut, it's a massive occasion. You know, you'll remember it for the rest of your life. If you're going to get televised and you're going to get interviewed by the famous Dominic McGuinness at the end of it, then it's magical. You know, it is absolutely magical. So it's so exciting. It's a great concept, and I'm just so glad to be a part of it. It's to be honest, it's the most exciting I've been in broadcasting.
Well, you said you haven't been well. There is no tonic like a little bit of boxing. You said we haven't been here yet. I've been watching on TV. You need a good concept, but you also need quality control. You need good fights. And the shows I've seen so far, the fights are good, which is, I suppose, the most important thing.
Of course it is, because, you know, what you want is you get tired, and, you know, I've been around boxing, you know, for a long time, and, you know, you just get fed up of going to a show and just, you know, you don't have to pick a winner. You just know whole one side's all going to win. But here, that's not you. A journeyman beat a you know, an up and coming fighter last week. It's you know, it's 50-50 fights, and even yes there's journeyman on the card, but you might have like tonight, a 2-0 kid, and he's fighting a guy who's had 206 fights, and he's won 11 or something, but it's 11 more than that's 9 more than he's won. So it's even fights, and you know we're going to get some good fights. When the whole card's televised, you know you're going to get some quality, and it might be the 4-rounder that's a standout, and you're watching it and you think, you know what, I've just seen the next Ricky Hatton. I've just seen something really exciting. So, you know, you're guaranteed quality, and, you know, the great thing is the kids are getting a chance.
I think people sometimes don't realise that if you're not coming through, you don't have to come through GB to have a good professional career. I was speaking to Ricky the other day, and he said he made his debut at, I think it was Lee Valley Leisure Centre, compared to his son Campbell made on pay-per-view. Guys making their debuts on a show like this, you could find an ex-Ricky Hatton. You don't need someone who's come through the GB setup and almost been groomed into it. You can find a rough diamond in places like this.
The best thing I ever did, I won the Junior ABA Championship, and that was it. I turned pro at 18. So, yes, you can. And, you know, the fact is that, you know, sometimes there's some really good fighters, but if a promoter brings them in, this really good fighter to fight his kid at 5 days' notice. Now, people have to realize how this game works. You know, the promoters will bring a tough kid in, but they'll only give him 5 days to get ready for the fight, and then, oh, he gets beat. You know, this way you're given notice. You know when your fight is, you're going to be the best you can be. If you win, it's because you've earned it. You know, not because, you know, somebody's fooled you out of it. You know, and that's what I don't like about the way boxing works, and that's why I'm so happy it's changing.
Right, Glenn. The straight talking stuff. Where do we stand with you in the ring? Because I think Johnny Nelson's one name that's mentioned. Roy Jones was obviously the sort of standout buzz around the Glen Mccrory name over the last few months. I know you've been called out specifically by Roy Jones, and I've just heard you say there was some sort of agreement in place. Look, fill us in, Glenn. We want to know.
do you know what? I had no interest. I would have come back 30 years ago if I wanted to fight Johnny Nelson or anybody like that. You know, I got out of boxing in my 20s before I'd even get into my prime because I was sick of the business, about the things that I'm just talking about the way it's ran. So I was absolutely fed up, and I would have come back. I think I watched the Tyson Jones fight. I was working for BT. I was quite skeptical about how it would go. I didn't want to see, heroes, Tyson a friend. I didn't want to see them make fools of themselves. So I was very skeptical. As it happened, it was great. I really enjoyed it. Both of them had really got themselves in good shape, which I thought was fantastic, with what they've been through in their lives and their careers. So it was left at there, and I got a phone call of Evander Holyfield saying, call me out. Evander, call me out on a Sunday. So Julie, I said, you call me out. He said, no, I don't call anybody. So I said, okay, I'll mention to somebody in the press, which I did. It then went all, the fights on.
What did you expect, Glenn? What did you expect?
Then when business was talked, Evander disappeared. Evander just disappeared, didn't want anything of it. And next minute, Roy Jones is calling me. I'm thinking, what have I done to anybody? Roy Jones is calling me out on Christmas Eve. So, all of a sudden I'm thinking, you know what? I've been very depressed over the pandemic. I suffered from depression a lot in my life. And the pandemic is really, I'd phoned Samaritans and it was really bad time. Suddenly Roy Jones has put something back in my life. He's given me something to look forward to. He's given me something to train for, to get myself in condition for. So it was brilliant. And then that after 9 weeks of training, the plug was pulled. The promoter that was going to put it on for Tough Boxing, got ill, I believe, and that all went away. And so I thought, well, let's do it ourselves. Let's resurrect this and put it on ourselves. Roy came over. We had a meeting. We talked. We shook hands. It was all great. He wanted it 100%. He thought it was brilliant that we put it in our own hands. Dennis Hobson said the Fight Zone would cover it. It was all done. Over the last few weeks, we've been drawn up terms of agreement, all that sort of stuff. Then Royce, but we couldn't get a final answer. And then on 2 days ago, we got a text of Roy Jones. People says he unfortunately doesn't want it, and he's pulling out. So that's where it stands. I'm disappointed. I made no. I'm not calling anybody out. It was the Roy Jones fight was a one-off. Unless Mike Tyson comes on the phone, which could well happen. The way things are going, I could get Mike on the phone tomorrow. So if that happens, then I would. But otherwise, Glen Mccrory is well and truly retired.
Just what you said there, Glenn. Do we need an ulterior motive almost if we've got potential fights like we had with Mike and Roy happening? Look, I know there'll be people out there that want to see them go in and try and knock each other's heads off. But like you said, just sort of the mental aspect of seeing them both in good shape and sort of enjoy themselves. Is that the aspect we need to look for and stuff like this? Not that we want to go in there and watch them lump 7 shades of shit out of each other. Like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. What it's about. For me, it was, and I think for Mike, it's just it's to relive a bit of your past glory, to get yourself in shape again, to get yourself mentally fit, because you need something to aim for in life. And often a lot of sportsmen face very big difficulties when their career is finished, because that's who they were and it's over. Your life, it just seems like your life's over because what you did, who you are, what you've been all your life is gone. And this was just, and it's a bit of fun in a way. And yes, we're competitors, but it's not like I'd be calling out, Daniel Dubois, right? You know what I mean? I retired 30 years ago. So, but somebody like a Roy who's a similar age, or a Mike or so, that would be great. I shared the ring 96 times with Mike in his heyday. So, me and him in our 50s, that would be fun as well.
A 97th won't do any harm, will it?
Well, no, not for me it wouldn't. So I think people's got to look at it, and also it's entertainment. People want to see what can these old guys, can they get themselves in shape? And and Tyson and Jones proved yes they can.
Right, Glenn, just quickly before I let you go, because there is some commentary that you have to do, and that is a little bit more important than standing here with me. Yeah, Eddie's moved to the Zone, split with Sky. They've got their final show tomorrow night in Newcastle with Lewis Ritson. But yeah, just Eddie's moved to the Zone. Obviously, you previously worked with Sky. I just want to know your thoughts, Glenn.
So, Eddie is obviously, Matchroom's got to do what they've got to do. They think that's good business, and it probably is very good business. Eddie's, does everything right. He's great in the boxing game. So, I'm sure they'll go on to massive things. I can see that. Sky, unfortunately, are left in the lurch, which I feel, I feel sorry for Sky. Obviously, I was there for many years. Lots of good friends there. But I know Sky will rebuild. It'll take a while, but they'll come back with big fights, and they'll get it going again.
All right, Glenn, thanks very much for speaking to IFL TV and opening up a little bit about how you said you struggled. And if you do get back in the ring, it's something we'd love to see. And if you've got a message particularly to anyone, I know you said you're not calling anyone out, just a little message perhaps, put a little sign out there for the fans.
Roy Jones, come on, man up, son, man up.